Well, let's speak about the situation in Tshwane with ActionSA's National Chairperson, Michael Beaumont. Michael, a very good evening to you. Welcome back. We have you on so often about the situation in Tshwane. And every time it appears progress is being made, there appears to be 10 steps taken backwards. Why can't this council get this right on both the election of a speaker and dealing with the issue of a mayor?
Well, I guess it all comes down to one thing, Thembekile, and that is there's a minority in the Tshwane Council, which is led by the ANC and EFF, and they tried to buy their way to a majority through soliciting other councillors to support the candidate of Marunwa Makorela on the 28th of February. And when that has failed, they have now employed a tactic of obstructionism. So last week, Wednesday, the Speaker unlawfully adjourned the meeting to prevent the council electing a mayor, knowing that our coalition has restored its majority. And today, the coalition actually had to achieve a special council meeting through legal means, petitioning the municipal manager. And the Speaker walks into council, starts chairing a meeting, which is to hear a motion of no confidence in himself, and then collapses that same meeting. So it's a frustration of the agenda of the residents of Tshwane.
So what then is the way forward, Michael?
Well, certainly the coalition has met already. There is a resolution to pursue litigation on an urgent basis. Our lawyers are at work, and our view is that we are going to have to approach the North Gauteng High Court to say to them that we need them to interdict the ANC and the EFF, and particularly the Speaker, from these unlawful forms of delay, and to ensure that the elections of mayors and speakers take place. Because as you and other commentators have correctly surmised, this instability takes place at the expense of residents and service delivery, and we need a mayor and a mayoral committee that can bring a budget to council and deliver services.
How much of this, though, at this point is about residents and services, and how much of it is basically about the political bun fight between your coalition and that of the ANC? Because no sooner has one of the sides managed to get through a mayor or a speaker, there's a motion for that person's removal, and we go back to square one.
Well, I mean, I can't speak for the other side. I think their actions speak louder than anything else. I think from our point of view, the multi-party coalition of which ActionSA is a part is desperate to return so we can focus on service delivery. The service delivery needs in the city of Tshwane are severe. There are many communities that are crying out for political leadership. And it is important to remember that our multi-party coalition is the one that voters favored with a majority in the 2021 local government elections. And that is why, from a democratic standpoint, it is critical that this government returns to office so that the business of service delivery can be put at the agenda of government once again.
And let's go back a few steps and talk about why it is that you want a mayor who's not even a speaker. Pardon me, I can hardly keep track of who we're talking about at this point. Let's talk about the Speaker. He's only been there for, several days, maybe 3 weeks. What has he done that warrants his removal?
Well, already you saw last week, Wednesday, he adjourned a council meeting unlawfully. That meeting was supposed to elect a mayor. So if we're going to talk about service delivery and the needs of the residents of Tshwane, the election of that mayor was an important step towards achieving stability. And he adjourned the meeting unlawfully to protect his puppeteers in the ANC and EFF, who did not have a majority on that day and would have lost the election. So there you have blatant politicking taking place at the expense of stability in the residents of Tshwane. And then once again, he proved this to be correct today. But we had to bring a petition signed by a majority of councillors in the city of Tshwane calling for this motion of no confidence. The Speaker refused to call the meeting, and it had to be the municipal manager that made this meeting happen today. This is a serious problem from an accountability standpoint and a clear demonstration that this Speaker will favour his colleagues in the ANC and EFF over the principles of accountability and democracy.
Well, the ANC and the EFF perhaps in a more pronounced fashion have spoken against the city manager basically and the city manager's involvement in today's program. Once you do go to court, let's say you do go to court and you are granted your wish, right, and Mr. Ndzwanana is able to retain the role of Speaker, will you let it go?
Most certainly not. When we go to court, what we will be asking the court to do is compel that this motion of no confidence is heard, to compel that the elections of a mayor take place in the city of Tshwane, and that these things take place without any disruption from the ANC and EFF, and without any adjournments on the part of Mr. Ndzwanana. From our point of view, that's what we will be asking the courts to do, because we know that when that is complied with, the majority that the residents favoured this multi-party coalition with will be brought to bear, and we will be able to get back to the business of the residents in Tshwane once again.
What I'm asking is, if you lose the elections for mayor and speaker, should there be a rerun of both? I mean, the mayor's one is definitely going to happen, but will you let it go? Will you then concede defeat and just move on?
It's very difficult to concede defeat, Tembagile, in an environment where your multi-party coalition has the majority. We must understand that any defeat that takes place in that environment is unquestionably a program of vote buying that we have seen and proven in the city of Tshwane. So it's very difficult to say what we're going to do in the future. I think we have the numbers, and I think the ANC and EFF's tactics demonstrate that they know we have the numbers. From our point of view, we want to get to an election so that those numbers are brought to bear. They clearly don't want that to happen.
Michael Beaumont, good to speak to you, Chairperson of ActionSA. Thank you.